Hello again, VJ fam. TBOT here with an exciting update about version 1.6 of my feedback machine. Just wanted to quickly dive into this and make this super fast as there aren't too many new features in version 1.6. However, just to note, version 1.5.3 never actually, I think, made it to Juicebar between 1.6. So I know that I have some videos on 1.5.3 out in the wild, and just know that everything that happened in 1.5.3 also relates to 1.6. Because Juicebar can't handle subversioning that much, I decided to hold 1.5.3 until the 1.6 release, and it's definitely worth the wait because there's been some major optimizations here within my feedback machine on the latest version. So with that being said, let me go ahead and dive into this and show you exactly what is going on here in the newest feedback machine. Not going to really do too much content stuff, but just wanted to kind of just show you what's new. Now, I did want to sidebar for a half second here and talk about limitations within Wire and things that I'm already aware of as a developer within this space. Number one, the lack of ability for me to minimize these sections, right? So obviously the feedback machine's got well over 100 parameters in it. It's a doozy. And it's nice to be able to make some of these things disappear sometimes. However, obviously in this case, we don't have a way to minimize things yet, at least that I have figured out inside of Wire. There's no way to create collapsible sections yet. So I am kind of on standby for that. And as soon as that is implemented, that will be one of the next major updates probably for this plugin, is the ability to kind of minimize and shrink down areas that you don't need to see. But yeah, just wanted to kind of mention that because it has been mentioned to me, and just want to let everybody know that I am aware of it. But yeah, back to the video. So just like in 1.5.3, you've got a ton more parameters that have been added into the adjust first section, including levels. More than just a brightness contrast. You now have levels. You now have a threshold. You have a key, a pre-key add subtract, a chroma key, as well as a post key colorize, and yeah, inversion of said color. And the main thing that 1.6 fixes, which is a known issue apparently within Wire, is chroma key scaling. So the biggest thing that we were running into, which was a broken thing within 1.5.3 and was one of the reasons why I held it, was because when you switch between composition sizes and you were switching, say, to a 4K, all right, so do a 38, 40, 21, 60. When I was trying to bring the feedback machine in before, it was not working. So this one is scaled to 1080. As you can see here, this one is still set to 1080 on the video router. And when I dragged in the new one with it at 4K, it bumped it up to 4K, and it works properly now and scales properly. Before there was a scaling issue. This was annoying as hell, but thank you to Tom Bass. Quick question into the Wire community, and found out this was in fact a known issue and that I was chasing my tail on something, and so this has now been corrected, at least with a band-aid, with some extra nodes, and hopefully once this is repaired, I can remove said nodes and those won't be an issue anymore. But going back to it, aside from having the all of these wonderful new adjust first features, the main thing that was changed here inside of 1.6 is well, number one, a lot of your presets will not work with 1.6, and that is because I decided to adopt the naming of bypass rather than saying master for each of my parameters. Bypass is obviously what Resolume uses, and so I am going to just kind of follow that just to make sure that it's not confusing for people. The other major change, and this is the most exciting one, is a huge frame rate bump up on version 1.6. And the reason for this is because I had not implemented a proper bypass button for blur, and come to find out that even with everything turned all the way down on blur, it was taxing people's systems and causing them to run through this node. So blur is now got a bypass button, and it is bypassed by default. The blur defaults are also set as well to something different. So now when you tick it on, you'll see, and let me go ahead and make this a little bigger here. Oh my God, 4K monitors. All right, so as you can see, let me go find my blur again here. There you are. So with no blur, that's that. With blur on, you can see that it just kind of starts off with a very light blur. But even with a decent system here, blur tends to tank frame rate. You'll notice that when I turn it back off, in most cases, it should go back up pretty considerably, in this case by about 10 frames. The higher you set your blur quality, the worse it's going to get in terms of frame rate. And the more that you set your blur, the more that it's going to get. So blur is definitely a very intensive, GPU intensive is what I even put in the name of the setting, just so that people understand that it is a very GPU intensive feature of the feedback machine. But by adding the proper bypass, people on lower spec systems should have much better results with this. Remember that I'm testing on a 1080 or higher, or in my case, my laptop, a 3080 Ti. Definitely due for an upgrade on this desktop soon. This is a dual 1080 Ti liquid-cooled system that I'm currently on. And it's definitely a huge difference. So aside from that, there aren't really any changes between 1.5 and 1.6 aside from your adjust first section, as well as these optimizations for blur. And this is pretty much where I think the feedback machine is going to stay for a little while. I don't really see any needs to update anything for the foreseeable future until there's new features to implement. So we'll be sticking with this one for a little while here unless I come across any more bugs that are glaring and need to be dealt with. But hope you guys enjoyed this little update video. And yeah, if you're interested in any of my other plugins on Juicebar, don't forget you have my intensity generator, as well as my Better Edge plugin, and my Master Mod plugin is now also available for free on Juicebar. That one is basically again, Master Mod incorporates all of these initial adjust first features, plus a couple other ones at the base clip level. So it's something that you may be interested in. It's definitely a one drag solution for most things that you're doing. And thanks for the support, everybody. If you're interested in getting these plugin updates faster than what you can get on Juicebar, do not forget that you can visit my Patreon. That's patreon.com/Mr. TBOT, all capitals. No spaces, no hyphens, nothing. And yeah, support me there. You will get early access to my feedback machine, as well as all of my other plugin updates, as long as you're a Juicebar owner, as well as custom presets and exclusive presets and other downloads, as well as content that I may have recorded out using my software plugins here. So please do go and check it out. Go become a supporter on Patreon. Again, that's patreon.com/Mr. TBOT. I'm going to put that in the description below. And you guys have an awesome day or night wherever you're VJing. Be easy, guys.